Robbie in the hot seat for the transfers today, and I've got some breaking news, and it concerns Arnaut Danjuma. Now, Arnaut Danjuma was all set to sign for Everton Football Club. He'd had his medical, but he hadn't signed the forms yet. Well, today we find out that he is on his way to Tottenham Hotspur to have a medical where he will be joining Tottenham on loan until the end of the season. Arnaut Danjuma is joining Tottenham Hotspur. This is massive news. It's news that's going to upset every Everton fan because they thought that this deal was done, but the paperwork hadn't been signed up. And also maybe the player who would have spoken to Frank Lampard thought to himself, now that Frank Lampard's been sacked, I don't really want to be at Everton. This is going to anger Everton fans no end. I mean, they're already upset about how the club's being run. You've seen the protests over the last few weeks regarding the board. This just looks like another complete mess at Everton. That the player that they thought they was bringing in to help them with their relegation fight has decided to join Tottenham Hotspur, even though he did a medical at Everton. This is unbelievable. In the comment section, I want to hear from Everton fans. What do you think of this situation? But once again, Arnaut Danjuma is going to be joining Tottenham Hotspur on his way to do the medical and get the deal done. Chelsea have revived their interest in Anthony Gordon of Everton. Poor Everton, I'll tell you, they're getting picked off left, right and centre. Now, you remember in the summer, Chelsea were really interested in signing Anthony Gordon. I think there was prices quoted from 60 to 70 million, and in the end, they changed their mind on it. Not sure what the amount of the fee would be now, but there's talk that they've revived their interest. Newcastle are also interested in Anthony Gordon. He's had a bit of a quiet season. He was that real bright spark for Everton last year, but has had a really quiet season this time around. And Everton may be up for selling him. There's even been talk that Everton would loan him out to, say, for instance, to Chelsea. Chelsea would it's Everton to get me confused right now. Everton would get him back on loan. So Chelsea would buy him, loan him back to Everton until the end of the season so he can try and help them in a relegation fight and then join them at the end of the season. Let's see if that one works out. And there's also been talk that Chelsea have asked about Amadou Onana, who, remember, Everton only just bought in the summer. There's talk that Chelsea are interested in him also. As I said, it is not a great time right now to be an Everton fan when you see that, some of your best players are being picked off, when you see that, your best players are being targeted by other clubs, and these players will definitely be tempted, especially with the mess that there is right now at Everton. Chelsea also pushing for the right-back Malo Gusto from Olympic Lyon. It looks like this deal could get done. Personal terms have already been agreed, but it's the fee. That was the original fee, was rejected by Lyon. The talk is that Chelsea will go back in with another fee. Let's talk a little bit about Chelsea, actually, before I get on to the last rumour. Chelsea have really been smart in this transfer window. What they've been doing is they've been doing these extended contracts. Now, the Mudryk deal, he got an 8.5-year contract. They've signed other players on 7-year contracts. And because of this, UEFA today announced that they're going to be closing that loophole that Chelsea have been using to sign players. Basically, how it works is this, is that normally if you buy a player, and let's just say you bought a player, let's say you bought Mudryk and it was over a 4-year deal, and you bought him for £80 million, every year that decreases on your balance sheet. So next year, that would show us 60 million on your balance sheet. The following year, 40 million. So basically 20 million a year. But by spreading it over 8 years, it will look like it's only a 10 million, sort of outgoing over that period. So that's what Chelsea's been using to sort of get around the FFP rules but UEFA are closing that loophole. They said that come the summer, you will only be able to buy a player for 5 years, and they're going to implement that as soon as possible to stop teams like Chelsea taking advantage of this loophole. Leicester City have been quite quiet in the transfer market. They've only made one signing so far. They're in talks with Shakhtar Donetsk and Lyon for the Brazilian winger Tete. Tete is currently on loan to Lyon. He's been having a very good season. He scored 4 in his first 4 games for Lyon. Now, Shakhtar are open to doing a deal, and Leicester, though, have to speak to Lyon first. It's really complicated. Basically, a lot of the players that, particularly the foreign players that were at Shakhtar, remember when the war started with Russia, they were allowed to leave on loan to other clubs while the war in Ukraine continued. So, in effect, he's a Shakhtar player, but he's on loan. I mean, it's a thing that Shakhtar have been very, very unhappy about. But due to the circumstances, UEFA allowed these players to leave on loan. So let's wait and see how that one develops. But Leicester very interested in the Brazilian winger Tete. So that's the news from today. And once again, I just got to go back to that news that I said right at the top of the show. Arnaut Danjuma joining Tottenham Hotspur, not Everton. It was Everton where he done the medical, but he will be joining Tottenham Hotspur on loan from Villarreal until the end of the season. The deal has been hijacked. He is not going to Everton. It's not going to be a very, very good day for Everton fans. We want to hear from you guys in the comments, but Arnaut Danjuma on his way to Tottenham. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports, and we'll see you tomorrow with more transfer news.